When it comes to the mightiest foe in Grounded 2 Early Access, we have the Masked Stranger, closely followed by the Wolf Spiders, and the most powerful weapon I've found against the mysterious Stranger has to be either the Icicles or the Wolfbane daggers, and as you can see here, they both do huge amounts of damage with the right build, but the Icicles have managed to clear the first half of the battle a fair few seconds ahead of the Wolfbane daggers. So today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can get to these secret sickles and use them for yourself. Now, the reason these are so great against the mysterious stranger in particular is that she's firstly weak against fresh attacks, and these deal fresh damage with every hit, and can also temporarily freeze your enemy, making them great at controlling your enemies. It's a trade-off though against the Wolfbane dagger's poison damage, which deals a large amount of poison when it's stacked with the armor stats, but having both sets means you can switch between weapons depending on your enemy's strengths, as the sickles also do slashing damage unlike the daggers, which do stabbing damage, and the actual damage output is pretty closely matched. Now, before we head to the location, let's talk about preparation. The sickles are found in the snowcart biome, so you're going to need to defend against the chill. As such, you'll have a few options available. Firstly, taking armor that offers chill resistance, such as the fuzzy armor set, and this one's made from lingonberries and bee fuzz. Now, depending on how many foods you have access to, you may be able to make beetle bites. This will also help. Failing that, go with foods that buff your particular fighting style. I always find the bees and mac and bees even, a particularly good one. And you'll also want the spicy safety mutation. This will allow you to spend more time in the snowcart biome before freezing and taking chill damage. This will be really important. The last thing you want in the middle of the fight is to be frozen still. Now, to get this mutation, you'll need to eat 10 spicy shards, which will unlock the tier 3 mutation, giving you 50% chill reduction and freeze resistance. And on top of this, I do highly recommend creating the Blazing Brew smoothies. Once again, these will help you resist the cold and also remove a good portion of your chill buildup. And if you use the chewing gum base for this particular smoothie, it will last longer, which I highly recommend, as you're going to be spending a fair amount of time in the ice cream cart. Now, once you're kitted out, you'll want to head to the ice cream cart. Entering through the cone in the west, you'll enter the freezer. The icicles are at the top of the biome. However, I recommend turning right and heading behind the frozen banana first and foremost, as there you'll find the floppy disk and also a key lying beside a dead prominent employee on the strawberry ice cream. One thing I should also mention is that by killing enemies, you will reduce your chill bar. So it can be really beneficial to keep fighting them. And of course, with your smoothies, you can also get a health refresh as well, as you can see there. This here is the frozen banana. Once you get to the back, just hug the right hand cone wall and you'll find yourself where the keys are and the dead omniscient employee. And there we are. And the key that you need will just be on the floor next to him, and you can also get the floppy disk there as well. And you're going to need this particular key for one of the treasure chests that you'll be able to find after the battle, so do watch to the end for that. Once you've grabbed them, head back to the entrance area, and we're just going to head all the way up to the top before turning and running across the pipe to get to the chiller. Once you're in the chiller, you'll need to break icicles off the chain using a hammer. Unfortunately, I've already done it, but it would be in this location. And once you've broken off all of the icicles, the chain will release, which opens up the entrance around the other side of this. In there, you're going to find a golden molar, but more importantly, if you head all the way to the bottom, there will be a small passageway to the icicles location. And when you arrive, you'll be able to pull the icicles, triggering a wave defense. However, make sure you are prepared for this and consume any other smoothies that will buff your character, as the buffs do stack. So human food in this case is great for extra defense, especially if you're wearing the warm clothes rather than armor. And there's also the scorpion smoothie, which is particularly good because it will reduce the venom buildup, which will be useful against the scorpions that will be fighting us. And there are a few others as well if you have them. And if your character is struggling with the cold, do head over to the spork. This will actually offer you a little bit of respite from the chill and give you a good view to release some arrows at enemies if you're an archer. Now in total, you will have to defend these sickles for 6 minutes. If the sickles lose all their health, then you will have to start over again. Some enemies seem to be slow at actually heading to the sickle to do damage, so I highly recommend leaving them if that's the case until they're actually close to or actually attacking the sickle, as this will just give you a little bit of rest before a new wave spawns in. Now once you've survived the 6 minutes, you will be able to retrieve the icicles, and at the same time you will unlock the recipe to craft them. And the last thing to do now is to grab the 2 buried treasure chests along the right hand wall. One is just across from the icicles mound, and the other above by the fresh mint, so you can see them glistening blue or gold to find them. Just make sure you have a spade on, well, your Omni spade unlocked so that you can dig them up. Now, these icicles will greatly increase your damage against enemies weak against fresh attacks. And they also stack with the dagger mutations, which means they can do poison damage as well. And they're particularly good as they are a tier 3 weapon. So if you haven't got any tier 3 weapons while you're doing this, these are going to give you a good buff to your damage output if you're a dagger or two-handed wielding character. But if you want to know how to easily destroy the mysterious stranger, make sure to subscribe for my future videos. And if you found this video helpful, do hit the thumbs up and let me know what you'd like me to cover in future videos. But until then, do check out my top tips for getting started in Grounded 2 next. Until next time, guys, ciao for now.